Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
Welcome back, team, and thank you for clicking on this episode. We appreciate each and every one of you who listen. All right, one of my favorite things about our gym is that we have a private Facebook community group where we like to post valuable information for our members. And this episode is actually brought to you by a topic of one of the comments our members made. It's a hot topic. We really appreciated this comment, and we decided to make a full podcast episode on it. So we hope you enjoy it. If you haven't left us a rating and a review, please take 10 seconds to do so. It really helps get our message out to some new people. All right, enjoy the episode. Three, two, one. Let's hit it. Let's go.
Action.
Podcast time. Best time of the week.
Yes, I actually really look forward to this moment every week. I'm Susie, for those who don't know me.
I am Brandon, aka Coach B.
And we are married still and the owners of CrossFit Max.
All right, banter topic. We're going straight into it.
Straight into it?
Straight into it.
Straight into it, mate.
I had this discussion with the 12 p.m. class today.
Really?
Yes.
Because
one of the members is essentially doing the job that I wanted to do growing up. That's what I wanted to be.
Okay, so
I want to ask you, what did you want to do as a career when you were young? Was there something that sparked your interest when you were a child?
Well, sort of. I wonder if you could guess. How well do you know me? 3, 2, 1, go. Wrong.
Do you want to be a teacher?
I mean, yes. Okay, that's like one of them. I had like 3 things. There are 3 answers to this, but that wasn't the one I was hoping you were going to guess.
Well, I definitely know you want to be a mom.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. But I
mean career-wise.
I know, but being a mom is a job, and it's still the job that I'm the most excited about.
Hold on a second. Don't make me sound like I'm taking away from all the moms out there.
You mom hater.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No. Career-wise, but if you would have asked me when I wanted to be when I grow up, I would have said a mom.
Well, I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad also.
I want to be a trophy wife, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But career-wise, I would have said teacher, or when I was like really young, I probably would have said a hairdresser because I love to play with my mom and my sister's hair.
Really? A hairdresser? Wow.
Like obsessed. I would get all my clips out and all my brushes out, and my mom loves to have her hair played with, so kind of, I think she encouraged this while I was still young, before she was like, shoot for the stars, and I was like, I want to play with hair. But
she said no, go to school.
She was like, only after you go to university.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I did really enjoy playing with hair and all of that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's still true. And anyone who's like a close girlfriend of mine knows, if they sit close to me when we're at like a gathering or something, I'll start playing with their hair. Like, I can't help it. I was just doing it to one of my friends the other day, and she was like, wait, don't stop. This is so nice. And I was like, I didn't even realize I was doing that. So I like playing with people's hair. So I would have said hairdresser. Then like later, when I actually was starting to go to like university in CEGEP, I was thinking that I wanted to be a teacher. Then I found yoga and I became a teacher in another way. And I feel like coaching kind of goes in line with teaching. So I do feel like I kind of am fulfilling that desire. But my one true dream in life is to be a mom. And hopefully that will happen for us in the next few years.
Yes. All right. Awesome.
But for now, I just have CrossFit Max members, and those are my babies.
Oh, well.
You are all my babies.
Shout out to all the listeners.
Over 100 babies.
So Chelsea is the member I was talking to with the group, and she is an elementary gym teacher. And I was telling her that when I was young, I wanted to be an elementary school gym teacher. Because I thought
young?
I thought it was the coolest job in the world.
Well, it is the coolest job.
Probably until, I would probably say until late high school. From, I don't know, from the age I can remember, I don't know, kindergarten, grade 1, whatever that, 5, 6 years old, all the way until maybe 15. I always wanted to be a teacher, a gym teacher.
I feel like you are a gym teacher, though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah,
not really.
The world took kind of a turn. So I wanted to be a gym teacher because I thought it was the coolest thing. So I was a out of shape kid, but I really loved going to gym class throughout throughout school, throughout
Right.
education. I loved going to gym. I loved playing sports with my friends. I always thought the gym teacher had like the coolest job in the whole world. He got to hang out in a gym, like in a basketball gym, or
I mean, it
Oh.
is a really cool job. Did Chelsea love her job? Did she say that she loved it?
I believe she does love it. But yeah, I don't want to put words into her mouth because I'm not 100% sure.
The reason I didn't want to become a school teacher in the end was because of the boundaries and roadblocks that the system has in place that I was feeling that I wouldn't agree with. When I started going to university, I did a minor? I don't know. I don't even remember because I dropped it. But originally I started with like a minor in child studies. So like elementary school kind of stuff. And I was just trying to explore whether that was something I wanted to do. And I felt even just in university learning about the school system and stuff like that, I felt, oh my gosh, there's so much red tape. They block you from doing so many things. You may like have a vision for what you think would make the kids' school time more successful, but you actually have no control over what you're allowed to do.
Oh, interesting.
And so that was what put me off.
Okay. So then you
Because I don't like rules. I don't like being told what to do.
a rule breaker.
I break rules.
It's kind of interesting. I always wanted to be a gym teacher, and I don't know what age I kind of switched, but then I wanted to do something in business. I liked the business side of things. And then I went to CEGEP, and I did business in CEGEP. And then in university, I did like 1 year of economics. Hated it.
Ooh, that sounds barfy.
Yeah. And then it was kind of the same time that I was starting CrossFit. And then you guys know
Pivoted.
the rest. But yeah, it's kind of like life kind of went full circle. I went from
You're an entrepreneur.
wanting to be a gym teacher to wanting to do business. And now I kind of do both.
Yeah.
I'm a gym teacher for adults, and I run my own business.
10 on 10.
Yep.
I'm a teacher of some kind. I'm a yoga teacher, and I'm a CrossFit teacher.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the next few years.
And you're a
Hopefully,
boss.
eventually, I'll be a mom. Yeah. And, maybe in 10 years from now, my dreams of being a trophy wife will come true.
Yeah. For now, you're just the boss.
Yeah. I like being the boss.
All right. So this kind of goes well with the subject today. We released a podcast after our 1 year mark of CrossFit Backs. Talked about the highs and lows, the ups and downs
2 episodes ago, I guess,
of our last year.
If you haven't yet listened to it, stop what you're doing. Don't go any further. And go listen to, I think it's called 365 Days of CrossFit Max, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I shared that podcast in our Facebook community group to our members, and I wanted to hear from them about their highs and lows from their CrossFit experience. Some of them put some really, really cool answers, and one of them put a kind of a long
well thought out reflection on her time now. I think she's been here almost a year now, I guess.
Yeah, I think she started
She was actually
October,
our client
November.
of the week very recently.
Yep. So that was Laurie, the person who did our mural. And yeah, do you wanna read what her post was? So she
Yes.
wrote it in French.
She wrote it in French, but we have translated it so that we can read it to you. I did my best to translate it to
English.
English. And I'm going to read it to you. So
Word
I'm
for word.
reading from the perspective of Laurie. So it's written in first tense, but it's her speaking.
Yeah.
I am now Laurie. I have become Laurie. I'm like, should I do an accent? Like, no. Okay.
No. French accent.
Okay, so what was the question that we asked exactly? It was
I asked them to share their highs and lows from their experience at CrossFit Max since they've started.
right. Okay.
So
this is Laurie's response. She said, "The change that I'm experiencing is one I wouldn't have believed in before, the mental side of things. Without realizing it, daily physical activity was like an option in my head before. Now it is becoming more and more a must. It is no longer a question to ask myself, do I move my body today? No, I do move my body today, period. That's all. It's like brushing my teeth. I don't ask myself if I want to do it. I do it, and that's it. The days without training become strange as the habit of moving takes up more and more space. It makes me question society's relationship with physical activity. How come it's considered an option to rigorously maintain physical fitness? It shouldn't be. As an elementary school teacher, I see how including daily physical activity in our lives remains an option in the example we set for the children. Personally, this is not the example I want to set moving forward. I will be the example that daily physical activity and exercise is normal and it shouldn't be difficult to include in our everyday lives. In short, a lot of awareness and thoughts on my side. And then a recent high for me, training yesterday morning with Susie. I did some good beat swings and leg raises and felt strength in my whole body and harmony in the movement. So that's the end of the quote. Wow. Sorry, I stuttered a little bit there because some of the translation wasn't perfect, but I was trying to do it on the fly.
Yeah. So that's a lot to take in here.
Let's unpack.
First of all, I love the fact that she's starting to kind of realize that movement should be an everyday thing. Or she has realized that movement should be an everyday thing, just like brushing her teeth. I absolutely love that quote. I said it a bunch of times before.
Yeah, so. I think that is just such a great way of really, in one quick sentence, noting our belief on physical activity. It should be a no-brainer. It's not like she said, you don't wake up every morning and go, am I going to work out today? You just wake up every morning and go to the gym because that's your routine, or you do your day and on your way home you go to the gym because that's part of your routine. You don't stop and think about whether you should or shouldn't every single time. It's like,
yeah, you know what? We went to a wedding last weekend and I had an interesting conversation with two people. Ooh. They were two kind of...
Put them on blast, babe.
Two kind of recent dads. They definitely don't listen to the podcast, but they're two newer dads, and they have a second one on the way.
Ooh.
And they were just... What they said was, they said that when you have kids, you have no time to do any physical activity at all.
Okay, and disclaimer, we don't have kids,
We don't have kids, yeah. And then I thought to myself about all the parents... in our gym
that come to the gym
100%. And all the different walks of life that we have in the gym. We have people who are super successful in terms of business and career wise who make it a priority to work out. We have moms and dads who have young kids, teenagers, adults. We have professionals who are extremely career driven
and have intense workout schedule, a work schedule. Sorry, have intense work schedules.
Yep, that make sure that they get their movement in. We have people who work short hours, long hours, parents, non-parents, people of all different walks of life. And I thought to myself, it's interesting that this perspective of when this happens in life, you stop moving. And to me, moving is something that's so important in life, whether you're career driven, whether you're financially driven, whether you have a family or you don't have a family.
It's kind of like when you have kids, you don't stop eating breakfast. You don't stop going to work. So why would you all of a sudden give up on your personal health?
Yeah. Yeah. And something that Laurie said was her big thing that she's gained is like the mental side of things.
Yeah. I think that's something that a lot of people maybe don't join the gym with the intention of changing, or maybe they don't even realize that there is a change to be made on their mindset. But it is such a great outcome that happens when you exercise well. I mean, funnily enough, I was just talking to a really good friend of mine and a member of ours, Sasha, today. Shout out Sasha if you listen to the podcast. And she has been a member since right at the beginning, since we opened the gym. And she has had a significant change just in her physical appearance. She's leaned out. She's gained a lot of muscle. She's super toned, all of these things. And I found kind of a picture of her from when she had joined, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much your physical body has changed.
Yeah, it was a photo of her foundations with me.
Yeah. And then also what was really cool that we were kind of talking about is she says she feels like a different person on the inside and on the outside. And then she just wrote like, thank you, CrossFit Max, with a bunch of heart eye emojis. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. And so she was really reflecting that almost like she didn't really notice how significant the physical change had been on the outside. And she was feeling so much better on the inside.
Like the emotional and mental side of things.
Emotional, mental. I mean, now I'm putting words in her mouth. These are not things that she said, but I feel like at least a lot of our members come in not realizing that they may have maybe a more naturally negative mindset. They're not negative people, but they naturally would gravitate to thinking that way. And because we're so on top of our building that positivity in our culture, we stop people in their tracks if they say the word can't out loud in class and stuff like that. And I think over time they notice very significantly the difference in just how their brain processes things. Their mindset, their mental state is clear when they're working out 5 times a week. And the culture that we've created here, it brings that positive glass half full mindset all the time.
Yeah. I also think that when you're exercising, it's not just about having a positive mindset, but it's also the huge health benefits that come on the, let's say, mental health side of things. So being like decreasing your anxiety and your stress and feeling negative emotions, not out loud, but feeling sad or feeling angry or feeling like explosive, like you're just gonna scream. Depression, all these things are decreased when we exercise more. Brain fogginess, when you're feeling like just fuzzy and you're having a hard time concentrating, this gets decreased. Mental acuity is a real thing when you exercise. There's so many like health benefits on the scientifically proven on the mental side of things that allow you to be more mentally sharp, more happy, more focused. You're able to think more clearly. So there's so many like mental benefits when you're exercising.
And just like also the release of the endorphins and stuff. It's a real thing. The runner's high / the workout high is it's real. I
put up
physical experience inside your body of joy and satisfaction happens when we're working out regularly.
Absolutely. I put up this thread the other day saying, if you stop exercising because of work, an exam, kids, vacation, holidays, then you've missed the point.
Totally.
And I think this goes super well with this discussion that we're having right now.
And I think that's so true. Like even when we went on our honeymoon, one of the highlights of our honeymoon was trying out different gyms in Miami when we were there. It was so cool. When we traveled to Australia this past Christmas, a priority for us was to visit the gym. Very cool. I think that also it does, Lurie's quote there where we were talking about earlier sheds light on the fact that society is so behind on prioritizing health and fitness. Almost everybody knows now you should exercise. It's good for your health. But there's like institutions of elementary school that are in place where kids, I don't know because I don't have kids in elementary school and it's been a long time since I was in elementary school, but I'm pretty sure they don't have an hour of physical activity every day. Other than like playing outside at lunch and stuff, but you can't control whether the kids are actually active or they're sitting or whatever they're doing. I don't know.
I don't know if you had this in...
We had gym class like twice a week.
Yeah, exactly. I think elementary school was based on like a 7-day block. And it was obviously only 5 days of the week, so that means the second 2 days get carried over into the next week. So it's never like a Monday is a Monday, but...
It's a day one, whatever.
It's like there's 7 days. And I think... From what I remember, there was only 2 days out of the 7 that we had gym class.
That's my recollection as well. So probably true. I hope they've increased it since we were in school, but I'm fairly certain that they're not doing exercise every day. And actually, funnily enough, while we're on this topic, I did my undergrad thesis on the use of yoga and meditation in elementary schools. And one of the articles that I referenced in my thesis, which I read through and through, back and front, many times, one of the articles said that kids will not do worse academically. So their academics will not be affected if you remove 1 hour of learning every day and you replace it with exercise.
Wow.
So their academics will not be hindered by removing an hour of sitting class time and replacing it with exercise. So why the hell are we, and this has been researched. I mean, I graduated university 5 years ago, so like I'm sure there's been even more research done on the topic now. Why are we still teaching kids in school with the actions, with the schedule that we create for them, that exercise should be something you do occasionally?
Yeah.
It's so infuriating.
Yeah. There's a lot of things of like normal society that trigger us.
Yeah.
But even then, like if you think about it, it's kind of a funnel for working the desk job, right? The 9 to 5.
It really is. And it's so sad because even if you are working a desk job, we have tons of members who work desk jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, and they more than anyone are prioritizing coming to the gym 5 days a week because they know for a fact that the rest of the time they're sitting on their booties all day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a scary number. I think we've talked about this in the podcast earlier, but I highly encourage you guys to actually look and analyze just one day and look at how much sitting/lying down you're doing. Time it. Okay, I was in bed from midnight until 7 a.m. Like, time that. Okay, I drove to work. I was sitting in my car from this time to this time. I was sitting down for lunch from this time to this time. I was sitting at my desk to work from this time to this time. And you're going to be really scared on the number that you might see.
Yeah, because we work at the gym, we coach, and even still, I would say I'm primarily sitting all day.
Yeah.
And we don't even have a desk job.
Yeah.
So that's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just society as it is right now. Like, we're just like more sedentary people. And what I think people forget is that it's only been like that for the last 100 years.
Yeah, 100%.
We didn't have cars before that. You know, people used to have to walk or take horses, you know, or people used to have to go hunt for their food. Just if you want to eat, you have to go and you have to farm, or you have to go and hunt, and you have to feed yourself that way. It's only really like the last century where we've become extremely sedentary humans. Yeah. But for thousands of years prior to that, we had to move every single day just to actually survive.
Yeah.
And now we actually don't have to move every day. We can just actually sit down for every second of the day and survive. But then we start seeing people getting chronic disease.
Yeah.
We start to see obesity rates go up. We start to hear people's depression rates go up. We start to see, right now what we're seeing is a lot of burnouts from people.
There is a mental health epidemic going on in the world right now. Yeah. People are unwell. Mm-hmm. And what's even more difficult about this type of unwell versus whatever physical illness that you can see is that you can't see it. Yeah. And therefore, it's harder to believe in someone or treat. But it is so preventable if we prioritize eating whole foods and exercising and getting a little bit of sunlight.
Yeah.
Basic human needs. Mm-hmm. And I hear so often from people, and still from our members, you know, we're still trying to change the dialogue and switch the mindset of people. I hear so often, oh, I'm going to have to put my membership on pause because I have a really busy week at work.
Yeah. Crazy.
And I just think to myself, you know, at the end of your days on your deathbed, to be really intense about it, you're not going to be like, I wish I spent more time working. Mm-hmm, yeah. I wish I put more priority on sitting and being at my desk. Mm-hmm. You're going to wish you spent more of your life taking care of yourself. You're going to wish that you spent more of your life doing things that make your body happy, making your mind happy, spending time with your friends at CrossFit Max.
Yeah, I agree with that. So this post was just freaking amazing. Was there anything else that she
Lucky
wrote
did
about?
Like an epic mic drop, basically. And what's so fun about it is that she owns the fact that when she joined the gym, she was of the belief that exercise was a bonus. Yeah. It was something you add to your life or you can take away from your life at any time.
Yeah.
And then over the course of a year, she's realized that actually it's a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone should think that.
I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I always wanted to do gym class. Even there was a period of my life when I was overweight and out of shape. Every time I was looking forward to gym class, like looking forward to moving, having fun, playing sports. Did you ever feel like that?
I feel like gym class is like tougher on prepubescent girls. I don't know, like that age from like 10 to 14. The last thing I wanted to do was go to gym class. You're like starting to get hairy legs. You don't want to be in shorts. There's just like so many things that go on in the girl mindset. So I do want to acknowledge that is a thing. But I will say that my parents are very pro physical activity, and we were very, very, very encouraged to do sports. And as a girly girl, I wanted to do figure skating, and also because my sister did it, and I just wanted to be the same as her. And I would spend at least 10 hours a week doing just figure skating. That's aside from all the other sports and stuff. My parents we're the family that for funsies on the weekend, our family would sign up for a 5K and stuff like that. So it was very, very much programmed in my body and in my lifestyle. And I'm so grateful for that because it's kind of become second nature for me. And I'm really grateful for that. But I will say, besides other things, the gym class was maybe not my favorite, but I definitely enjoyed the mental break of not being sitting at my desk. You know, I'd still look forward to gym class because I'd be like, okay, cool, I don't have to think for an hour.
Yeah.
Which I think is very true.
Some of my favorite moments growing up were team sports, actually. I loved... I mean,
was such a self-conscious teenager.
Actually, fun story. When I got into high school, grade 7, I remember this. I always excelled in gym class. I was always the person to volunteer.
Athlete.
No, at that point I was not an athlete, but I just always loved
Want to
sports.
be athlete.
Yeah. But I always had the mindset of really like loving gym class. That's good. I remember in my first semester of high school, we had a gym uniform. So we didn't have a school uniform, but we had a gym uniform.
Yeah, we did too, but I had a uniform for school too.
Okay. So you had to wear your gym uniform, and you got deducted points if you didn't. Anyways, first semester, high school, I wore my gym uniform every single gym class, and I would always volunteer to play all the sports. I was always just outgoing in that class. And I remember receiving my first semester report card.
Oh, no.
This is like first semester.
They didn't give you a bad mark, did they?
The gym teacher gave me a 70%. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You really weren't an athlete. I'm just kidding.
I remember being like...
That's super triggering. That is not acceptable.
My parents were like, why did you get 70 in gym? Like, it's gym class.
And
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I played all the sports. Like, I wore my uniform all the time and blah, blah, blah. And I went I remember going to the gym teacher, and I really liked the gym teacher, and the gym teacher really liked me as well.
Not that much.
So I remember going to him and being like, hey, I remember his name, Mr. Gattini. And
throwing shade, Mr. Gattini.
I was like, hey,
what's wrong with you, bro?
How come I got 70 on gym class? And he said, oh, well, I think you like missed like your uniform a couple times. And I was like, I never miss my uniform. I wear it every time, every class. So in other words, never he was missed it.
You're fat.
No. And anyway, so second semester, and I think every semester for the rest of my entire life after that, I got 95 plus in gym class.
Was he your teacher ever again?
Yeah, he was my teacher. I think he was my teacher either the following year or 2 years later.
I feel like this is kind of besides the point, but I don't feel like that was fair at all to grade someone based on their actual ability versus their just like willingness to try in gym class. I feel like gym class points should be based on participation and not
effort.
On
yeah.
And not on,
I was
did
actually,
you get the basketball in the hoop?
I was an out-of-shape kid, but I was actually fairly decent in sports. Like, I had a belly and I was overweight, but I actually played sports relatively well, except for when I was really young. But that could be for another conversation. That could be for another topic. But, yeah, no, I did really well in gym class, and I think he just messed up, and he realized that afterwards, and there was nothing he could do about it. And then the semester after I got 99.
You literally can't make that mistake.
Yeah.
My parents would have disowned me if I came home with a 70% on anything, but gym, forget about it.
I was super upset, and my parents didn't believe me the first semester. Like, you're not wearing your gym uniform. Like, they're like, are you like skipping class or whatever? And I was like, no, I go all the time. Anyways, it still haunts me to this day, that first semester, like first high school semester too, you know, you're like nervous. And
okay, but this is like just on our discussion of physical fitness and encouraging people in physical fitness. I feel like if you show up for gym class and you listen and you're not rude and you try your best, you should get 100%. We should be encouraging kids. We should not be discouraging kids. That's just also part of the process.
I mean, maybe
reward the good behavior, which is showing up and doing whatever you have to do and wearing the stupid uniform or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. What would you recommend to like maybe the parents should like? I mean, I always tell parents for kids who are really young.
I should give parenting advice. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I always recommend to the parents, they're like, oh, what sport should I put my kid in? I said, put them in as many different sports as possible. That's what they'll learn, what they like. Put them in swimming, putting them in gymnastics, put them in team sports, put them in as much as you can. The more moving, the better. And then they'll kind of figure out, like I was in football when I was younger and I was terrible at it. Didn't like it. I played soccer, terrible at it, didn't like it. Played basketball, I thrived in it. And that changed the rest of my life after that because I loved the team aspect and also the actual sport of basketball. Yeah,
I think as much as possible and as much as you can afford to give your children access to as many options as possible, do it.
Yeah, at the youngest age possible as well.
Expose them. Talk about sports. Mm-hmm. You, as a parent, talk about your CrossFit workouts at home.
Yeah.
It should be just very much part of the norm that, like, we are a family that does sports.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be CrossFit, even though we hope it is. But it doesn't have to be CrossFit. It has to be whatever makes you happy. When I was a teenager, when I was in elementary school, I liked to do dance and figure skating.
Yeah.
It's just as equally movement as basketball. Just something that gets your body moving, gets your cardio working, all those things. And also you just learn the habit. You learn how to manage your time. You learn how to go to school all day and then go to your sport and then still manage to get all the things done that you need to get done.
Yeah. And something that's really cool here is we do have some parents that work out, and now some of their kids are starting to work out with them. And this is like, this is leading by example. These kids are just, for the parents listening, the kids are watching you. Like, they see you do CrossFit, they want to pick up the PVC and do some snatches and cleans and stuff, you know, no matter what the age is.
Very cool.
We have like young kids trying to hang from rings because their mom's hanging from a pull-up bar, or they're trying to deadlift, so they're grabbing a PVC and they're trying to deadlift as well. There's so many cool things.
I'm so excited to like have our own kids and watch their development because they'll be gym kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether they like it or not, when they're very small, they're going to be at the gym.
Yeah, but I don't think they won't like it. We'll just find something that they do like, and it'll just be a part of their DNA. Moving is going to be something that's going to be important for our children, and it should be important for everyone.
100%.
So I think that's kind of the message that we need to give out is, okay, if we can get kids moving at a younger age and we can realize that this is not an extra. Right now we preach this to adults, and they've spent 30, 40, 50 years
in different ways,
not moving as much, some less, some none at all. We have people who have never moved their entire body, and then they show up to a CrossFit gym and they're saying, hey, I want to lose weight. And it's like, well, okay, well, that's great that you have the goal of losing weight, but how about we focus on getting your body to be moving in a healthy way?
Yeah.
Let's start to make small lifestyle changes. Let's start changing your mindset as well, that coming to the gym isn't this extra chore that you have to do at the end of the day.
Exactly. Working out isn't a punishment, it's a gift.
Yeah.
And when you start to realize that, the more you do it, the more you start to realize that, and the more you start to lean into that, the more you realize that every time you're working out, you're gifting your mindset, you're gifting your body, you're gifting your health, and you're gifting your future something. You're not forcing yourself. It's not a chore. It's not a punishment. It's not a negative thing. It's a super bonus. And what Lucky's message taught us, or it taught me, at least as a gym owner, is it actually isn't that hard to change people's mind about fitness once they're in. You can go from I think it's an accessory to my life to it's a necessity in a short amount of time if you lean in.
Yeah. Well, something I told you the other night when she posted this, I said, wow, our message is truly being delivered to people right now.
Yeah. For us, this was definitely a pinch me moment as gym owners, because she reiterated everything that we believe unprompted. Mm-hmm. We just asked people to reflect on their year and to talk about some of their highs. And she literally just wrote the perfect words to explain exactly our belief system.
Yeah.
So the brainwashing is working. Just kidding.
Yeah. And I think this also leans in really well with our client of the week.
Pew, 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 pew.
This client is well overdue.
Yes.
This client also is leading by example to her daughter. Mm-hmm. This client's name is Lucy. So shout out to Lucy for being one of our founding members.
Yes, she was one of the very first people to believe in Brandon and I sign up.
She was the first person to do her foundations.
Yeah, with her daughter. Daphne, who is killing it. Also, we talked about her a few weeks ago.
So Lucy has been, her mindset has definitely been shifted a lot over the last year.
And she's done a lot of work on her mindset.
Yeah.
She's been very vocal about her process, which is really fun.
Right now, she's training hard. She's also prepping for a marathon.
Oh my gosh, she's running a marathon at the beginning of October. She's doing CrossFit. She's hitting PRs in her CrossFit. Yeah. She is someone who has took on the mindset that movement is medicine. It's a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. She has a very stressful, very demanding job, and she doesn't let it get in her way. And actually, just yesterday, she was talking to us about that. Yeah. And she was saying that other colleagues at her work say things like, oh, like, how do you have time, or how could you possibly work out 5 days a week, blah, blah, blah. And she was saying that she was telling them, for me, it's an absolute non-negotiable. I make the time. And when those words exited her mouth, I was just like, oh, music to my ears.
Mama 3 also.
Yeah. She has three
super successful
kids.
Career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's not only CrossFitting, she's also finding time to run like 30Ks on the weekend. This woman can literally do it all.
She's killing it right now.
Friday last week, she came to the gym literally on her rest day to come do mobility and foam roll and just take care of her body. There was a non-negotiable. She was going to do something, and even if it was her kind of rest day, let's say.
Yep. And she's always just a high energy in the class.
Oh, so she's definitely loud and proud.
Yeah, so we love her. Thanks, Lucy, for being such an awesome
lots.
client.
She's a dear family friend of mine as well. So.
And on that high, we will end it there.
Oh.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you so much.
Love you.
If you haven't yet given us a rating and a review, it helps get our message, this message that we spent this entire podcast talking about, out to some new people. Even if you want, maybe if you're starting to feel deep like we are about this message, and you feel like maybe one of your friends or one of your family members needs to hear this, please send them this podcast.
This is a great one to share with someone who maybe you're trying to convince or coax into joining the gym, or the person who says, not now, I don't have time. Mm-hmm. Make the time. Yep. The time is now.
We say it often. We'll say it again. Movement equals medicine. So let's get our bodies moving. Let's get other people moving.
Sick. Bye, everybody.
Guys. See ya.
Love you.